Every moment reality is a manifestation of vibrations, of energies and frequencies. At any single given moment, you're choosing your preferred vibrational state. What you call normal is your average preferred vibrational state. It's the average comfort zone. It's your average integration. And even in the normal, so-called normal preferred vibrational state, there is still a choice that you have made over and over again to remain at that preferred so-called normal vibrational state. In the universe, there's no such thing as normal. It is all based on preference, on comfort, and your integration. And in the same apparent third-dimensional reality, even though we are sitting with all these different bodies over here, we are vibrating at very different frequencies. So therefore, the only commonality that we have right now is that we are sharing this present moment experience, apparently in a physical form. However, vibrationally, we all resonate with totally different realities. I usually have a saying that on the same couch you can have an enlightened being, you can have someone who is a so-called normal human being, and you can have someone who is quite in a deep depression or a hellish inner situation. Sitting all three on the same couch, and the only commonality is that the physical body is sitting on the same couch. So every moment experience is a manifestation of your preferred vibrations. There is a choice being made in the present or usually in the past. For most people are living with the choices of the past, and therefore they're simply being pulled in the river according to the past choices. And most of the people don't realize that in the present you can also choose your preferred vibration, your preferred state. Even if the whole environment is not yet resonating to your preference, but you can slowly manifest your preferred even environment. It just will take time, and that's the law of physics and manifestation. So commonly people are living unawareingly with the choices that they have made before, and the most disempowering attitude is complaining and blaming. This is the most disempowering attitude. Because what happens when someone complains or blames, they're immediately losing their power and giving it away to the external conditions which already happened in the past, and they completely don't realize that you can choose right now, and you can change right now, and you can make your future better. So, as Buddha said, no matter what happened in the past, or Or as he said, you cannot step into the same river twice. The past is the past. It has a certain momentum, yes. It has a certain influence upon your present experience. But is your present experience a present experience or experience of the past? For most people, the present experience is the experience of the past. It is the same emotions that they are repeatedly experiencing, the same feelings that are being experienced over and over again, the same stories continuously spinning in their minds, the same problems repeating again and again, the same complaints and the same external people and conditions to be blamed for. So that's called being stuck in the past, and now it has been scientifically found that 95% of all thoughts in the average person's mind are repetitive thoughts generated from the past experiences, which have not been processed and transcended. So in reality, we see that 95–96% everybody is stuck in the past in a continuous repetitional cycle. And the way to get out of it is to realize that in the present moment you can choose. And we're not speaking about making your life decisions, changing your jobs or partners or moving to a new country. I'm speaking about the present moment preferred vibration. And that is the real power, the real choice, the ultimate choice that you have every single split of a second. Because reality is a continuous bursting of billion frames per second of vibrations. In the usual movie industry, it's about 30 to 60 frames per second, depending on the quality of movie. In the real reality, it's a billion frames per second. It is very alive reality, much more alive than the movie. A movie is a much slower vibrational reality. This is a very alive vibrational reality, or a vibrational holographic experience. And therefore your awareness is witnessing this present moment. And your awareness is aware of your conscious choices being made. And the awareness is fascinated, consciousness is fascinated, God is fascinated what these body, mind, soul mechanisms are choosing every single moment. Consciousness itself is not affected by these choices, just like the movie screen is not affected by what's being played on it. The movie screen doesn't get wet, it doesn't burn in the fire of the movie, it doesn't explode in the atomic explosion of the movie, it doesn't get hurt by dramatic experiences. But in a relative reality, the body, soul, mind mechanism is always choosing every single moment what it wants to experience in this holographic reality experience. And that is the key to manifestation. of every present moment experience and of your future. Law of attraction is for kindergarten, because you have to realize that right now, every single moment you're choosing. And the mind has a certain nagging behind. At the back of the head, it's so difficult. How can I do this? How will I be able to choose every present moment? I can't even solve my current problems. And now you're asking me to choose every single second. What if I can't make any decisions in my life and any choices? But that is also a habit that you have developed. It's a habitual mind, the complaining mind. So anything that your mind is telling you, it is probably of a lower vibration, unless it is excited and says, yeah, let's do this. Then it's a supportive mind. It would already have power in it, access to the higher vibrational energy. But if you notice your mind nagging, complaining, blaming, and saying, oh, I'm too tired to make my life better. It's too hard to live my life nicer. Then obviously there is a certain low vibrational habit, pattern. And you have to become aware of your mind, of what it is telling you, of what stories are being repeated. You have to become aware of your conscious mind, what's being repeated inside you. You have to become aware of your subconscious mind, and it's programmable. Your subconsciousness is programmable. Therefore, in meditation practices, you access a theta vibration and you start to deprogram the subconscious programs. You have to work on both your conscious mind and subconscious mind. Because in your conscious mind, you have about 5% of power. In your subconscious mind, you have 95%, the rest of the power, in the average case. And of course, those who are meditating, who are on a consciousness path and spiritual journeys, they are increasing their conscious potential. And even if your mind is nagging, you can make a conscious decision to choose a higher vibration and to find a way, to be willing to find a way to overcome it. And if you consciously decide right now to live on a higher vibration and to make your lives 1,000,000 times better in the next 5 years, 10 years, I'm not saying tomorrow, the 3D reality takes a little bit of time, but 5 years, it's a very optimal timeline. Most of you have done it in a matter of 1 year or 2 years, changing your life completely in a new way. In 5 years, anybody can do it. To live a new preferred reality experience. in whatever ways it means. You know, it may be slow, it might mean changing a job, or maybe not, or maybe relationship, or maybe not. For every person, it's a different choice, it's a different preference. Changing maybe even your apartment to a new location because your neighbors are not gonna move out.
Waiting for your neighbor.
Or if you live in a Nordic country, you know, complaining about the weather, it's as pointless and useless as waiting for your neighbors to move out. So there might be some obvious changes that might need to be done when the time is right. No pressure. Of course, you might feel a bit of anxiousness, you know, to make some big changes. And these will come with time, when you will be fully ready, when even life will come into synchronicity to help you to make it happen. Trust life, trust reality, trust vibrations. There are laws of vibrations. They're gonna work out in your favor if you always choose the highest vibration. And this is a fundamental principle of reality manifestation, reality creation, reality happening. It's a law of reality. That this is how the vibrations work. It's not how you want them to work, it's how they work. You want them or not, they already work like that. And if you align yourself to the way things work in the real reality, you are gonna be surfing the wave. If you don't know how reality works, you're gonna be crashing. The waves are gonna be crashing on you. And then you have to recover, become stronger again, and the next wave splashes on you. And that's okay. If you want to learn to surf, that's how you learn to surf. The vibrations of reality. Since a child, I had this dream about surfing. I had these visions that one day I'm gonna get a board and go to the sea and start surfing. And in Europe, there's, you know, nowhere to surf as such, apart from Atlantic Ocean. But my life manifested that I went to Thailand, and there was a beach, and it was perfect time in that area to surf. Nice water, warm, and so forth. I got my surfboard. I had my first lesson, and the waves were crashing and crashing on me. My dream preference started to fade away. And then I realized, no, the physical surface is not for me. But then immediately somebody an idea came, a thought came that I'm already surfing life. I'm already surfing vibrations. And that's the best surfing ever to be done. To surf the present moment. Vibrations, energies. It's the most exciting thing you could ever do every single moment. Sometimes there are some underlying currents pulling you one direction or other. But you learn how to surf. You learn the way of the ocean. You learn the way of those waves. You learn the way of those currents. You know what to do and what not to do. And reality has its laws, its physics, its ways. It's not how you want it, it's how it is. That's a good thing. That ignorant people wanting things to be the other way, it's not going to work out anyways. Because reality is much bigger than the ignorance of certain people. So that's a good news, that the ignorance is not really gonna affect the full reality as such. And only not knowing or not living in this conscious way is called suffering. Because if you're trying to swim, imagine there's a mountain river, and you're trying to raft up the river. Well, you're gonna suffer and it's gonna be hard. You're gonna waste so much energy and you're gonna get nowhere. Because there's a mountain, there's a river, and you're trying to raft up with it. It's just not how it works. And then you say, okay, well, that's called success. So I'm gonna buy a speedboat. I'm gonna surf that river up the mountain. It's just crazy. And that's what many people do. And those who allow the rivers of reality to be employed in their natural ways, everything starts to happen effortlessly. And what are the verifications of effortless manifestations? These are called synchronicities. That life itself is manifesting for you something of a higher vibration. And every one of you has this document with the upward spiral and downward spiral of consciousness. And you can see that a breaking point is the consciousness of courage. And from that point onwards, you step into the upward vortex of real-time reality manifestation. And the higher consciousness you are, the more life is supporting you. That's amazing. And then things start to happen for you. Of course, you need to participate in that co-happening of the present moment. It doesn't mean that you're going to be sitting and drinking a glass of wine every single moment with a beautiful view. Sometimes you have to do something as well, but it's going to happen effortlessly. Because you like it, because you love it, because that's what you're good at. And reality is constantly pushing you to become better at what you're good at. And to help others in better ways at what you're good at. And there's a lot to be learned, and every single moment you will need to grow and develop yourself to be in alignment with ever higher vibrational manifestation. It's not like you become good at something and then it's done. Every moment you're going to be improving, because every moment you have a focus of a higher vibration. But it's going to be exciting, it's going to be nice, it's going to be loving, it's going to be challenging, but nice challenging. It's something that you can do. It's something that you know that it's healthy and it's needed and it's going to come with a good result. And it's going to help others. in a higher vibrational way. So the key step number 1 is to raise your consciousness. And key step number 2 is to have your focus on a higher vibration. Choices every moment. And everything else will work itself out. Just focus on doing anything that you can do to raise your consciousness and to choose the higher vibration in every single moment. And everything else is an automated autopilot of the laws of the universe. And that's the biggest secret, not only of this lifetime, but of any lifetime in any dimension. Because this is how the universe works. No matter where you are, 3D, 4D, 9D, or whatever. Even Ramana was saying that the quality of the guru is always keeping his focus or her focus on the self, on God, on consciousness, on the source. Because reality has all kinds of laws, and there are certain momentums which happen on the lower vibrations, and you need to choose. Do you want to go into the lower vibrations, or you want to stay where you are, or you want to move up? If you know about the 3 forces of the nature, one is a crudifying force called tamas, another one is the force of action, it's called rajas, and the other force is the force of purity and balance and harmony and bliss, and that's called sattvic force. There are these 3 key forces of reality that constantly work together. And every human being has a certain balance of these 3 forces. And if you're not focusing on a harmonizing, balancing, and higher vibrational force, which is a sattvic force or high vibrational force, then you might be affected by action force, which is just doing and doing and doing, but hey, where I'm going. And the life is not improving because you're just doing at the same level all the time, not on a higher vibration. So it's not even about doing as such that makes your life better. There are so many busy people. And they're good at being busy. Happiness and busyness is not the same. And there's a third force, which is a tamasic force, crudifying force. And those who are not aware of that, you can be very easily falling into it in a crudifying force. And this force basically makes you feel lazy, and you wake up in the morning, you have no energy. It's like, no, I don't want to wake up. No, not yet, not another day. So it's the lazifying force and crudifying force, and the force that makes you bored and lazy and tired and nostalgic and dramatic and miserable. Yeah, that's exactly the influence of the crudifying force. And what you have to do, you need to get your ass out of the bed, take a shower, go for a swim, walk in the nature, do something, because that's how you're going to raise your vibration with the action force. But when you're in the action force, then focus on a higher vibration to then relax a bit more and come into happiness, lightness, joy, easiness. Don't get stuck on the action, busyness. And every moment you have a choice to choose a higher vibration. And the key education is this education that should be taught in a primary school. Listen, kids, this is how reality works. You want to have a good life? Yes, choose a higher vibration, learn how reality works. Experiment with it, play with it, learn from it. These are the laws of reality. That's how things happen. And if a child constantly chooses a higher vibration and constantly learns how things work, they will of course grow up to be what they're best at. And they're gonna live amazing lives. And this is the new humanity, the new education, the new way. It's not new, it's already how it really is in the universe. It's new to this humanity. And imagine there is another civilization who have been living like this for 30 million years. Imagine what they can manifest. And that is you in the future. And that is you in your next life. And when you look around in this world, it is obvious how these problems have been created. It is obvious why we have so many unconscious problems. And it all starts with the children and the educational system. And this knowledge is still extremely rare. Extremely rare. The knowledge of how the universe works, how vibration works, how manifestation works. It should be the key knowledge of the basics, ABC, the universe ABC, the reality ABC. And that's what we need to bring, that's what we need to do. To start spreading this knowledge, this education. Because then manifestation is easy. And everything starts falling in its right place, in a higher vibrational place. And excitement and joy and these amazing challenges to make you keep growing in a really efficient and productive and beneficial way. Because many challenges are just pointless challenges. And every moment you have a choice of a higher vibration, and you're choosing that every moment consciously, And you're increasing your potential every moment. And when you come into a more balanced meditative state, in a alpha vibration or theta vibrational state, you can start to rewire your subconsciousness, your subconscious decisions. You start to deprogram the expired, not working programs, patterns, behaviors, habits. And you start giving yourself instructions of the higher, exciting way of living. And in a matter of 5 years, you're going to be living an amazing new life with 10 times more happiness. And you need to trust that it's going to happen in the best possible way, that you will be making your choices and decisions simply by knowing one thing: to always choose the highest vibration. It is the golden rule number 1. Always choose the highest vibration. And then number 2, learn more how it works. And number 3, make it happen. Bit by bit. And then you will feel and know that this is how I want it to be. I want to live on this high vibration, on excitement, in joyous way, in this creative, fulfilling way. And then you will see that it's not so easy because you have your challenges, and that's okay. It's totally fine. Your problems, your current problems are totally okay. They're fine. And you can do one little step to go forward, and a next little step, and a third little step, and do what you can do. And if you're going to face challenges, that's okay too. They're part of the journey. And if you will fall into the lower vibration and sadness and so forth, and tiredness or misery or anything else, if you're going to fall into the downward spiral, that's okay too. Just get out of it as soon as you can. That's another golden rule. If you fall into the downward spiral vortex, get out of it as soon as you can. That's the golden rule of the downward vortex. Get out of it as soon as you can. And when you're back into the neutral position and back into the higher upward vortex, then you can make your decisions and choices if they're needed to be done, how not to repeat the downward spiral events. There's another rule: not to make decisions when you are in a lower vibrational vortex, in the downward vortex. That's not the time to make decisions. At that time, it is the time to get out of it, into your neutrality and then clarity, and then to make decisions from a high vibrational point of or place of being. When you are neutral, clear, and focusing on a higher vibration, that's when you make your decisions and choices. When you're affected by the lower vibrational energies, downward spiral, you need to get out of it. And to find the quickest way, what helps you, what works for you to get out of it. You can always tell your partner, your husband, your wife, your colleague, now it's not a good time, let's speak about this tomorrow because I'm not feeling so well at the moment. Let's not make any decisions right now because I'm not feeling good, and maybe tomorrow we can talk about it. I will feel better and everything is gonna be better. Whatever we need to decide, we can do that tomorrow because today I'm not feeling good. And you have a choice to do that. You have a power to do that. You have a right to do that. Nobody told you that you have to make decisions when you're not good. And nobody can force you to make your decisions when you are not good. It's your choice as well. And be wise. And know that you have to get out of this lower vibrational energy first, then feel neutral, feel clear, feel good, and then decide. That's how you make decisions. You make decisions when you're supported. When life is supporting you, or at least you're neutral and clear, then you make decisions. At least you're neutral and clear. That's the minimum level to make decisions. And then you step into your own self-responsibility. It's another important rule, to step into your own self-responsibility and not to blame anybody else, even by saying that you are lowering my vibration right now. No, that's not for the ego game. Because you will meet many people and they will give you many troubles and challenges and problems. They're going to be lowering your vibration and you can never blame them, because you need to be self-responsible to manage yourself, and then accordingly to choose and to make certain actions in a kind way, not an arrogant way, not an egoic way, in a kind way, in a nice way, at least in a neutral way. That's a minimum way of how to communicate to others, at least in a neutral way, and preferably in a kind way, an understanding way, so that you don't hurt anyone on your real-time high vibrational manifestation. So if any arrogance comes up, if any ego comes up, just check your language right away, because you may hurt someone and that's going to cause more lower vibrations. You don't want to do that. So your communication with anybody else needs to be at least in a neutral way, and ideal in a kind way, understanding way, loving way. And even if it's difficult for others to hear your truth, but if you speak your truth in a kind way and loving way, even if it's difficult for others, they will go through what they will need to go through. but you will not create any lower vibrations, any karmic energies. So your language, your communication with others needs to be at least in a neutral level and constantly monitored every second, every moment. If you're speaking in a kind way, loving way, and not hurtful way. And that's very difficult, especially in arguments. And you have to make your best not to hurt others. If it still happens, it's okay, it happens, but at least you did your best. Sometimes you might be pulled into the other person's energy field, into this not nice argument way. You might be pulled into it, sucked into it. So involuntarily you lower your vibration. But at least you try to do your best to hurt the least and to find the best outcome in any present moment. And you should never judge yourself, because judging yourself is disempowering yourself. You need to love your problems. You need to love your problems. You need to love your weaknesses. And you can say to yourself, I know at the present moment I have these challenges, I have these difficult emotions. I love these difficult emotions, and I know that they will become better because I'm choosing a higher vibration every present moment. And I don't want to judge myself, I don't want to blame myself, I want to grow and learn and to become better. Because judging myself is disempowering myself. It is closing myself. It is not helping me. So I love my weaknesses. I love my flaws, my imperfections. They're good, they're nice the way they are. My imperfections are fine. I accept them, I allow them. And I always choose a higher vibration and to learn and improve with my imperfections and weaknesses and flaws. Because nobody is perfect as such. And everybody can learn more and improve more. And my present moment is a gift of this current manifestation the way it is. And if my present moment sucks, it's okay. Because from this place, from this moment, I can start improving. Now I know what to do. Even if the whole world and circumstances are, there's a saying that the problem doesn't go alone. When you start getting problems, they usually come from many angles, from many sides. And that's fine too, because this is a time of clearance, of letting go, of resolutions. It's a time to clear, resolve, and heal, and let go, and learn and grow. And I accept that too, because this is the manifestation of clearing and letting go and healing, purification. So you will realize that every present moment is not a mistake. it is already so because it is manifested already so, and the universe has not made any mistakes in these manifestations because I made my past decisions, and there were past events that happened. And if something is not good, it's okay too, because it's gonna work itself out one way or another. Even if I will have to lose my job, even if I will have to lose my relationship or my money or anything else, it's gonna be fine too. As long as I focus on a higher vibration and trust the process of manifestation. So no matter how things suck in life, as long as you know what you're doing, it's gonna be fine and it's gonna improve. Sooner or later. Be patient. That's another law of manifestation. Patience. To know that certain things take time. But as long as I focus on a higher vibration, it's gonna work itself out. Certain things take years. Certain resolutions may take years or months or weeks. Maybe you will need 2 years to change your job. Or maybe you have certain commitments that you're not willing to let go yet. Or you can't let go yet. And that's fine too. But maybe things will change in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, and everything will arrange itself that you will be able to let go. And you need to trust life and the process of manifestation. And to have patience. When you know how things work, you employ patience and you know that it's going to work out itself fine. Because the universe has one purpose: to support you. To support you and help you to return to your full consciousness. That is the game of the whole universe. To support you and to come back to full consciousness. And your conscious decisions make your game easier or more difficult. And as long as you focus on a higher vibration, it's gonna become easier and easier as time goes by. And sometimes you might be doing too much. Sometimes you got too many things going on. And then it's time to simplify. Then it's time to let go what doesn't work anymore. And maybe it's time to take a little break. Maybe it's time to pause for a little while. Maybe it's even time to rest for a little while. As long as you focus on a higher vibration, even rest when it's needed, it's also helpful. Pausing, slowing down, simplifying, because that is a time of clearance or rest, rejuvenation. But even in this restful time, you will feel great, because you know that now I need to rest. This is the best thing that I can do right now, is to rest. And sometimes people come up to me and they say, all right, so I'm ready for the next level of consciousness. And I tell them, take a 1 week holiday. Go and rest for a bit. Because that's going to be the best for raising your consciousness. And this is where comes this naturalness. Knowing how to live on a high vibration, but also knowing the natural way of the laws of the universe. And sometimes the best thing that I can never do is take a break and rest a bit, because that will give me more strength, refreshment, rejuvenation for the new things to come in the near future. It's time to recharge. It's time to allow the buzzing cells to rest and integrate. So that they're ready for the next future events to come, to strengthen, to grow and prepare, to gain more clarity, to ground and root and balance. And you have to learn these laws of the universe, laws of life, laws of manifestation, of how things work, of how reality works. And that is the only skill that you truly need to learn. And there is a saying that if you dedicate 10,000 hours to develop your skill, you're gonna master that skill. So if you dedicate 10,000 hours to learn about the laws of reality, through your real-time experimentation and learning, you're gonna master the skill of living. 10,000 hours you can do in a couple of years, and then you're gonna have your future decades to come of amazing life. Because you will master the laws of reality. So that is a primary skill to be learned. And then there are other skills that are you're natural at, that you're good at, and these are secondary skills. In the educational system, there's a primary focus to create a workforce. The secondary focus is to kind of inspire to find some skills which are needed in the workforce. And very little they do care what people truly love and like and they're good at. And in the real reality, it needs to be the other way around. The life skill needs to be developed first, then your natural skills need to be developed second, and then you will find a way of how to earn your income. Having the life skill, being good at your natural skills, and then finding a way how to make money out of it, how to support yourself. Now we have to do things way around, and that's a bit difficult. It's okay, we're gonna come out of it. People are realizing that already more and more. Everybody had 3-4 months break to reflect on that. Just recently, the whole world had a little break from being so busy. It's very helpful actually in terms of consciousness manifestation. From that point of view, it's a positive event that everybody had time to reflect on what they're doing. And this is how on a bigger scale even the so-called negative events that occur in the world are still divinely orchestrated according to the current needs of the current average vibration or certain areas in this world, certain countries. It's the same law, just simply applied to a larger amount of people on a country scale or global scale. The same law of manifestation, the same law of reflection, with the same outcome to make things better in a higher vibrational way. Even if it means to pause for 3 months everything that everybody is doing, it's still very healthy. The world hasn't been healthier ever than right now. So when you understand the laws of reality, you say, oh, that's a positive event on a global scale, on a bigger scale. And then everything makes sense. Since you recognize these patterns, these functions, these laws, then everywhere you look around, it starts to make sense. You start to understand how things work everywhere, on the individual scale and on the global scale. It's actually a universal scale. So let's take a few moments to sit with this, just to sit with that, to allow yourself to process what has been spoken of. Give yourself a little time, and more in a meditative way, just to allow everything to be processed. So we will do a very easy, integrative practice. Just feeling your breath, coming into meditative state to allow yourself to process, integrate, to digest all this new information and all these new vibrations. So you can slow down a little bit, feel your breath, feel a bit more space around you.